Hello and welcome to Everything Dance, your mentor. Thank you for coming and being here. And don't forget, if you've got questions about this subject or any other dance subject at all, then drop them in the comments. I will be doing more on this subject, so don't think, oh, I've done this subject, I can't ask my question now. And I will give you a shout out for your channel if you ask a question, as I answer it on future lives. And as you see, we're doing two different forms of lives on this channel. We're doing my dance journey, and I've put the first episode of that up. It's going through my whole dance career from the very beginning of my first days at dancing, which is the episode that's already up, so do check that out. And then we're doing these Q&A ones in between. Today's Q&A is a very good video about Ballet Pointe shoes that I made. So if you want me to reference it to you or to friends of yours, then ask me for the link in the comments and I can actually put that video across to anyone who needs it. So if you know someone who's about to do pointe shoes in the next season of dancing, then be sure they watch this video. So I'm just going to play it first, and then if you've got any questions, then I'll answer them after the video. After buying your pointe shoes, it's a good idea to sew a loop of elastic on the heel to pass the ribbons through. Fold the back from the end of the sole, and then you will find these are the places here where you will sew the ribbon. Where the fold finishes, this is where to sew the ribbon. Some students for pointe shoes also like to sew a piece of elastic round as well to secure your ballet shoe on to your ankle, but this is not necessary. Some students also like to darn the very end of the shoe. This was used more in the past when pointe shoes were very expensive, but now they are more affordable. You do not need to do this. You can also buy some suede that sticks on the pointe shoe, which helps make them last longer. You have a large choice of things you can wear inside the pointe shoe to make them. This is one option, or another option. The option I use is these little gel cushions that you place your toe in. You don't need very much, as long as you don't overuse your pointe shoes when you first get them. You shouldn't ever have bleeded or damaged toes. That's normally if you've used your pointe shoes too soon in your studies of dance and your feet aren't ready, or if your feet aren't fully grown or developed, or if you spend too long on your toes at first, or your standard is not ready for you to go on your toes. To tie on your pointe shoes, same as normal ballet shoes with ribbons, cross them over the front of the foot. Pull them tight, but not so tight that they hurt. Make sure your foot is always flat when tying your pointe shoes. Then pass them through the elastic on the back. Each ribbon goes through the loop and out the other side. And this one through the loop and out the other side, crossing them low at the back of the heel. Pass them back round again to the inside of your foot. Tie them here, not in a bow. A double knot is best, making sure you don't have too much left over, cutting any excess off, but leaving enough for you to tie them again next time. And then when you've cut off any excess, you will tuck the ends in. And I suggest that you use clear tape to pass round the knot and round inside the ribbon, which will hold any loose tails inside, keeping them clear for exams. Also check that you have pushed in any loose drawstrings here. So I hope you enjoyed that, and it gave you the first thoughts as to how you should deal with your ballet shoes. In case you're interested in the darning, there are many different ways you can do it. You can start in the center and do chain stitch round and round and round. But bear in mind, most dance shoes are more of a square end of the ballet shoe on the toe for performance and balance. You actually find it might be easier to do rows of blanket stitch or chain stitch. And it's very hard to do. In my day of dancing, everyone had to do it because the pointe shoes were so expensive, as I said, and it was part of being old enough to be able to have pointe shoes. So those younger children that I see in some dance schools, if they can't dance, they are not old enough to be wearing pointe shoes. It's a very controversial topic, but as I say, as a true ballet professional, you would never put a child on pointe shoes that haven't done their ballet grades up to the exam where you do pointe work. And yes, there are dance exams. If you cannot stand on one foot on your pointe for a long period of time, you are not ready to go on your points. They are not a toy. They can be very damaging for people who use them too young. I know a lot of dance schools, the teachers like to try and put the children on quickly because they have fear of the children leaving the dance school, and that's a way of keeping them at the dance school. So if you haven't done ballet exams to that level, you shouldn't be on them. If your feet have not stopped growing, that is a definite no, because your bones are still developing. If you ever have bunions, you should not be wearing pointe shoes. Now, there is a certain type of bunion, it has other names, that you get on your little toe, and that is known as tailors, and that is on the outside of the little toe. So it's a different form of bunion, and that is often from sitting cross-legged, hence the name tailors. The tailors were quite likely to have these tailor bunions, and that's because they used to sit cross-legged on the floor doing the sewing, and it's constant friction on the side of the little toe. If you have any toe or foot disorders, if you often twist your ankle, if you've ever had knee problems, you should not go on your pointe regardless. And you will see a lot of dancers end up with knee and ankle injuries, and that's from not being taught correctly on their pointe shoes. It forms weak areas. If you have any toe abnormalities, never dance with a broken toe, no matter what. It's all very well saying the show must go on, but that will be the end of your life on your pointe. If you ever wear toe spacers or Any adjustments for your feet, corn applications on your feet, as in gel pads, anything, as I say, like toe spacers, toe correctors, anything to move your toes. Never wear these when you're on your pointe shoes. It will not be good for your feet. And do make sure you go to a registered shop where they specialise and have certificates. Yes, there are certificates of fitting pointe shoes. And normally a class would be ready more or less the same time to go on their points, and your teacher should go along with you, because you know surely what type of pointe shoe would suit them best, and you collaborate with the store because they don't know if your pupil would need a wider toe base, a double back. Yes, a double back. There's actually triple back now, and many other types of pointe shoe. So you'll have some idea the way your dancer dances as to what is best, and they are trained to fit them correctly. When I first started dancing, as I say, they used to be very expensive, and we were actually made to wear cotton socks over the top of the pointe shoes. So that you can get stiffeners or hardeners for the pointe shoes. I don't recommend it. And when you wear your pointe shoes, as soon as you've finished with them, soon as you get home, they should be in a string type bag hanging up, or loosely tie the ribbons together and hang them up on a nail on your bedroom wall. They should never be left inside your dance bag. They will be moist, and that will take away the strengthening of the pointe shoe. So I hope that's covered some basic things for you. When I do my next live Q&A on pointe shoes, I will show you the very first things you should be doing and your dance teacher should be doing with you. You should not jump into dancing around on your pointe shoes. It's like any physical exercise. You wouldn't suddenly decide, I'm going to start running and run a marathon. So consider it in the same way. Or you wouldn't do your first day of gymnastics and start trying to do full tumbles or somersaults. It's exactly the same concept. You can injure yourself the same way. So this also brings to mind when people come to street dancing or they come to hip hop, and particularly boys want to do head spins. You have to work up from it. So if you want any more questions answered or advice on pointe shoes or anything else for future videos, then please drop a comment with your question and I will get to it when we get to that subject again or another subject. So I hope this was helpful to you. Take a look at this. So do make sure you share this channel out. I like to know as well from you in the comments as to what level you are and what dance subjects you do, and of course what you want to know more about. Let's visit Quote Corner. So do drop me a comment. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching, and see you very soon. Bye bye.